Hey, good friends, welcome to the Mad Painter Show. Tired of being involved with manipulators and people who don't appreciate your precious? Well, as I speak further on codependency and dependency, we'll see how to no longer get ourselves entangled with manipulators. We'll see how to let go of our control and actually feel the freedom is in it. And what is this, but what particular dependent relationship that we need to get ourselves involved in that's going to really bring our true independence? So grab your pen and piece of paper because I'm about to get started with the juicy goodness. First, we're going to start off with dependency. Dependency is short breakdown. AI had that whole thing going on, but requiring someone or something for financial, emotional, or some other type of support. Now, in looking this up, I discovered in the AI experiment thing on Google, dependent personality disorder, which is excessive need to care for others. And there was a list of this. And in this list, we have one, submissive behavior, which is like a submissive clinginess type of thing. 2, fear of abandonment, fear, helplessness, and when the relationship ends. 3, difficulty making decisions, and this is just everyday decisions. 4, avoiding responsibility, may not initiate projects or do things independently. 5, volunteering for uncomfortable tasks. Now, they do this in order to get support and get someone, oh, well, we'll help you. We'll nurture you through this. 6, sensitivity to criticism. Feelings easily hurt, all up in their feelings about everything. You didn't even say this, but they heard that, and it's like, what? 7, pessimistic outlook, lack of self-confidence. Now, they say this is involved if you're, this kind of comes about if you're in a neglectful and abusive relationship, foundation, and upbringing, history, family, etc., and it can bring upon depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. Okay, so this was all in the dependent. Do you recognize any of these qualities within yourself or within someone else? So, looking at this as a manipulator, if I see this quality in you, I'm going to always need something. It says excessive need to take care of others. So I'm going to need something. I need something from you. I'm helpless. This would be great. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. So are you the type of person that needs to hurry up and rescue these people all the time, even when they're not asking you? They could just be, just saying something, I just been so broke or something these past. I don't know what. I'm just throwing something out there, but it's like they're fishing. They're throwing something out there like, are you going to give me a bone? Are you going to give me a little something, something? So these are qualities that we have to look at in ourselves. Is this a weakness that we have? Or is this something that someone else has? Because we're looking healthy love, healthy development. So now we're going to move on to codependency. I got plenty of notes. Okay, so codependency typically is a person who sacrifices his or her needs to take care of a person who is like sick or in need or something. Codependency takes place, other people, it takes over the place of other people's health, welfare, safety, and this person puts the other person's needs before their own. So, and like looking at the first one, because I see the excessive need to take care of somebody, and this is the dependent personality disorder, and it's like, that kind of slightly got a bit confusing. But in looking at the breakdown that they got there, they're always needing somebody else. They always need somebody to help them. They always need somebody to give them something. As we look at this codependency, this is the person that needs to be needed. And so it's like they'll lose touch of who they are because you need me. You need me. I can't be there because you need me. And I get in some of these things and explain both of these areas. Now, these are to the extremities, okay? Because there are going to be times and situations where we will have to sacrifice or we will need to be dependent on others. But this is where when we get to that independent part, I'm gonna break all that down a little bit later. But this is where we're getting to the breakdown of codependency, okay? This is the person who needs to be needed. Okay, learn pattern of prioritizing the needs of another person over your own. So what they're saying, the AI Google thingy, what they're saying with this is like part of the behavior with it. They're enabling another person's unhealthy or destructive behavior. Now, considering also with the manipulator thing, you have these desires to want to do these things, whether you are the manipulator or the manipulatee or manipulated. Either way, whether you're on this side or on this side, we have to look at our foundation and also look at what are these things that we truly desire. On the surface, it may be attention. I want to cuddle. I want to do this. But no, and actually looking deeper, like what is it that you feel that this person can either give you, or you feel like you're the only one that you can give this person this, where it is creating a toxic environment, or a toxic relationship, and something where you feel like you're stuck in, where it's like, no, you're not stuck in it. This is why we're looking at this and talking about this, because you can be free. Okay, so let me get back. Another part of the behavior, neglecting your own needs to care for the other person. Not allowing the other person to take responsibility for their own life. So I want to pause that right there, because even though I planned on talking about this later, I looked at this as independent. Because I will get to independent, but when we're independent in our own, which I'm going to break down the definition and you'll understand what I'm talking about when I actually get there. But when we get when we get into our own thing and being independent, sometimes we can neglect the person and allowing the person to actually show themselves, because in the place and where we're working to be people of our word. And so manipulators aren't always people of their word. This is showing that their actions and their words aren't meeting up. This is part of the confusion and part of the problem that you're having. And also whatever fantasies that we have going on in our mind, we have to put a pin in that bubble. So, in seeing how we can be in so many different places, because independence can also bring on a control. And we will want to be in control so much that not allowing the other person to take responsibility for their own life. I know it's like major in saying life, but if, let's say you're dating someone and I'm so independent, I don't need you to do this, and whatever. And the person is saying, oh, but I want to do this for you. You have to allow that person to show you their patterns so you can see how they really are. And not be in such a rush. I got this. And trust, baby, you speaking to a person who used to talk like that at certain points, because I'm quick to go Dutch. But anyway, it's another conversation. But, and for people who didn't know what Dutch was, is I will pay for my own meals, sis, bro, because I be hungry. And that's what Dutch means. We learn something new every day. And so we go back to this list as far as codependency. Not allowing the other person to maintain their independence. Feeling unable to end the relationship because you fear what will happen to the other person. Now, look at that part with the what is this, codependency, and then with the dependency. I can't live on if this person, see how there's this fear and this lack and this. Okay, so they're saying, in which I get, can lead to anxiety, depression, feelings of emptiness, general sense of powerlessness and helplessness, diminished self-esteem, hopelessness, and burnout. So, baby, this is a safe space here. This is not a place of judgment or anything, but this is a place where when we're reflecting, because this is deeper than looking in the mirror. When we are reflecting, this is giving us things to reflect on, and it's not to beat yourself up, but it's to help you look at things, because if you don't know what the problem is, how can you work on a solution? And that's what this is about, is to help us see the problem, but not focus on the problem, but actually work on the solution. And so we get to independent, okay? Freedom to make their own decisions, take action based on their own values, and live their life in a way that reflects who they are. They are not influenced or controlled by others in matters of opinion, conduct, or action. They are also able to manage their own life affairs and take responsibility for their actions, thinking for self. And I'm gonna move on to that. But just in case, for those people who are, I already kind of listen to what part of her videos is about, and but I'm not there, and I don't want to get it. But so to get some of you just starting, just even in working on yourself and working on the self-love, where's my independent notes? So they also had some notes as far as in how we're going about, going out on your own, being dependent. I don't know where the heck I put it, but it was basically a thing like, don't be afraid to go out by yourself. Try new things. Go take yourself out to eat. Like the same rules that they tell you as far as in dating yourself. It's kind of the same thing. You have to get into a space where you are comfortable being alone. Baby, if you can't be alone by yourself, everybody ain't your entertainment system. Ain't nobody your entertainment system. So you have to get into a place where you are fine being alone with yourself and also with whoever you like to be partnered with, because this also plays a very high key role in fidelity. Because when it comes into a relationship, if you ever heard a person say, I just can't be by myself, I can't do, this is somebody who's constantly always got to be in a relationship, got to be with somebody, got to have somebody there. So you have to think, if you're the type of person that's in a relationship with someone and you have to go out of town, or they have to go out of town, or they're like truck drivers or whatever, because that could be male or female, and they are the type of person that can't be alone, or you are the type of person that can't be alone. If you all really discuss monogamy as far as this relationship, is this something that you really want, and you're a traveler and you understand that you can't spend long periods of time by yourself because you have to have somebody there? And this is where we get to this mastering self-love, because that part can even be involved with the independence as far as, this is what I stand, this is where I am. But does it really involve other people? Especially when we're in a relationship. And not saying that because you're listening to this, you want to be in a relationship. I get that there are people who are free spirits that don't want to be in relationships. But you still, even in your free spirit, and baby, you still want to know what love is within yourself. So you won't just tolerate anything and everything because it's saying, I love you. So I had to give you that look to let you know how much I love you, and to let you know this is for real. Okay, so in this Mastering Self-Love, which is in the Wix link, and you can click it. It is a journey in which we are every day seeking out God and seeking out His word and actually listening to Him, seeing what He has to say to us, and bringing ourselves to an open-hearted space of where we are experiencing Him. Because this is an experience, baby. And this is the relationship that we are coming to be in, being dependent on God. Because when we are dependent on God, God brings us in such a way where we look independent to other people, but because that's how I'm seeing it, like we look like we independent, but we're really dependent on God, because there are, wherever you have a lack, if you're lacking a mother, you're lacking a father, you're lacking a partner, you're lacking a brother, you're lacking a sister, wherever it feels that you're lacking in a family, this is the void that He feels. And when you take time out to learn the love that He has, okay, I get, God knows I love Him, and I know He loves me too. But see, we really want to get to a point in seeing how He loves us and opening our hearts and putting ourselves in a place where we can see it and observe it. Because I've heard people, I ain't seeing God. Everything It shows you God, from the trees to the things man made, because God made man and man made all of this beautiful stuff. And then there's all these other things. We in this whole world, all kind of things to study and all these things to give him thanks. And we're breathing and all this other stuff. It's amazing. And he's showing you every day, I love you. So we're putting ourselves in a place to actually hear and see him say this and experience it. Because it's not just a thing in you're reading this thing and you do this and you're fine. You do this and you're messed up. It's a relationship thing. So think about being in a relationship with a person. And I get, people get married for different reasons. People have boyfriend, girlfriends, relationships, whatever, for different reasons. But I want you to look at being in love with someone. And how this thing is with God, it's not, I'm here to get all these answers. I got all these questions. And because it says ask, seek, and knock, I got all these questions. So I'm waiting on you to answer everything. And so it's not so much in us getting all our questions answered. It's not so much in us getting everything that we want, but it is a thing in relationship and actually experiencing this relationship. And once we experience this relationship, we see that it's totally different than when we weren't in the relationship. I mean, it's a thing in knowing the word. It's a thing in, you can memorize this and you can say this and whatever. And in the church you did this, that, and the other. But you really want to know God for yourself and know him from the inside, because it is a beautiful thing. And he wants to have a relationship with you. So, and back and looking at this relationship thing, and especially instead of looking at the other person, because I don't know what your desires are. You may do all kind of things. But in looking at it being you, would you want somebody to just, you love this person. I mean, you know everything about them. You love them. You studied them. You observed them. But they're only coming to you because they want something. They only coming to ask you questions. They only coming and making it about them. I mean, I get, you may love this person so much. It may be a thing like, oh, but I love this person. But the problem comes in, the person doesn't really have the opportunity to fully experience you when they're only coming from what they want from you. And this is almost like the same thing with God. So when we see how he actually loves us and how special we are, I mean, he loves us so much. He made us in his image. And I mean, not how we look like this, because I mean, it's dope how we look so different on the outside, but on the inside, when this character and that talk and that walk that we do, it may all be slightly different, but when it come talking that kingdom business and it be family relating to each other, it's all connected. It's all connected because family be talking that family business because it's about the family works and the happenings and the being. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm explaining it to you just in case if you didn't. And so he wants you to know what this love thing is about. And I've even paid attention to, because this is an experience thing, and we have these desires, we have all these things that we want, but this is what gets us in the position that we are in the first place, because we're blindly wanting these things. And there are many times that we even have a hard time stopping ourselves when we know full well what the result of that thing is. And so this is putting us in a place to not where it's a thing where, you messed up, right? You messed up, right? No, this is a thing where he's guiding us. He's changing us. He's molding us. And so I got to find it. I'm going to try not to shake it. Boy, my notes just got everywhere. But I have Ephesians 4:22 through 24, and I'm looking to see here it is. Y'all, I'm not trying to waste y'all time. I'm not trying to. This is why I had a hard time finding the Ephesians the last time. This is how much I read that 3:14 through 21. And it became a part of my being. And this is how I'm able to share it with you guys. But you see what happened to the actual book. And so I'm reading Ephesians 4:22 through 24. You must give up your old way of life. You must put aside your old self, which gets corrupted by following illusory desires. Your mind must be renewed by a spiritual revolution so that you can put on the new self that has been created in God's way, in the goodness and holiness of the truth. And this is from the Jerusalem version. You may have a different version. And as a person mentioned, like it's artillery, it definitely is. And this is what part of the study is, because sometimes you may have one version and you have a difficult time in getting a vision in your mind. And this is what helps when you have multiple versions. I forgot, a concordance, a strong concordance. They have other things how you go about this study thing. It's not just, we got this King James Bible and we're just going to go about it. Even though I understand this, that, and that themselves, I'm going to figure it out. It's no, even if you're just working with the King James Bible, you can still invite God in and ask him about that stuff. But baby, we ain't got no more excuses. You got the internet. I'm going to keep it 100. We adults. If you can look up porn videos and all this other stuff, whatever it is that you're interested in, you can look up Bible interpretations. I mean, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, just as all of those things are easily accessed, so is that. So we need not put ourselves in excuse position and blocking ourselves from actually finding out what our purpose is, what we created here for. Because God got a purpose for everything, even the teeniest, tiniest of thing and the biggest of the thing. And it's like we have our place in this thing. And what is it that we're supposed to do? Because we are God made us some amazing beings. And whatever is happening with all this manipulating and all that other stuff, man, don't let that stuff get you all caught up where you lost and you cannot see who you are. Man in society may have whatever it is that they say about you. But man, don't believe that. Sis, don't believe that. This is why we have God. We have the Bible. Even in stuff that we don't understand, we can invite him in on a situation and ask him. This is what he wants. This is the purpose of the free will thing, because he's not just going to intrude like, I told you. No, it's a situation where it's a loving thing. And he wants you to desire him. He wants you to want to be with him. I mean, baby, think about you. You ain't got all that juicy goodness from nothing. You know what I'm saying? You want somebody to want that, right? So it's like you got to kind of consider this thing. So I put some stuff up in here in my notes because I don't want to forget that. So we're looking for this spiritual awakening, because that's where this real awakening is at. You will be at a place where you can really taste the goods, where you can really see the colors. Even if you just colorblind, you're going to be seeing some things. And the colorblindness, like, wow, I didn't even know that was like that. I'm telling you, he will open your eyes to see some things. And I'm just trying to put that little seed up in there, soften the soil of your heart and just get it kicked off, because this is what brings the real independence. Even when you're in a place, God, in his word, he got all this protection and you lack nothing. And I got you, I got you, I got you. And all while you reading this stuff, you'll see what people done been through the fire with it and walked through the water, on the water. And it's like all these situations where it's a relationship where you're not going to be able to sit there and be comfortable and be like, yeah, he got me. Yeah, he got you. But it's still going to be some things that you need to do, because you're going to have to show some people like, God really do love you, just like what I'm doing. But you know, you got your own mission and journey. And this is why you want to talk to him and see what he has for you. Because, baby, I need you. They need you, too. And this is why I'm getting you going. Because you can't have the manipulators messing up your mind or whatever you telling yourself that you got to, I got to do this and I got to do that. Now, if God ain't tell you, this is where the independence come in. If God didn't tell you, independence, if God didn't tell you, hey, I'm going to need you to move along. It's this story. I don't have this in the notes. It's this story in the Old Testament. And there's something about these people that was some givers. I didn't read that part, but it was something about these people that was some givers. And they were giving everybody. And God was just like, nah, some people that's getting ready to come, don't give to them. And it's like, okay. And then when the people, this mad painter style of the story. And then when the people came, they was like, we gonna give it to you. And they just manipulated the crap out of them. And so I had this down somewhere because it had something to do with the givers and the takers. And I didn't want to pass that. Did I already mention that? No. Because it's over here, I believe. I don't mean to be slowing this down. Anywho, it's in here somewhere. If I need to bring it back up, I shall in another video. But it's still connected with either with that codependency or something as far as the enabling and you helping to take us, which I may have go ahead and mentioned that. But in this process, because in this thing, we're constantly looking for an answer. And what I recognized and observed and experienced is the answer is going to be an answer, but we have to be willing to go through the process in order to understand the answer and be able to fully receive it. So be willing to go through the process. Take time, because that's what it's going to take. This is not instant gratification. And as we go through this thing, you will see the more that you're willing to take time, that's when that love kick in. And all of a sudden that patience creep in. And even in a place where you feel like, well, it's not a feel like, I worded that wrong. Even when you're in a place where it's physically not there at the moment, God will still have you satisfied. And even when people are coming and dangling that carrot in front of your eye, like, I know you don't have no carrots in your refrigerator, and this is what you need for the rest of your Thanksgiving dinner. And it's like, I'm good. God got me. He got me. I'm all right. I don't need that. Because you're not hungry and you're not desiring anything like that. Because this is what gets us to the place of we're neither needing anything or wanting anything, because God provides. He is our provider and we lack nothing. And we have to get to the place of thinking kingdom minded. And no matter what is being dangled in front of our face, it's even looking like that's the thing we've been wanting. We'll get to the place, because Adam and Eve showed us that, when we just sitting here busy in our own thing and so independent, we can make a lot of mistakes like that. But when we're presented with something, whether we feel like we know it or we don't know it, when we're in the habit of in this relationship and you're in the habit of including your daddy, father, brother, partner in on this, it's a thing like, now, what do you think about this? I mean, you may have said something to me about this and I may have forgotten. Please forgive me. But I'm asking right now, what do you think about this? So it's like when we're getting in the habit of including him in, that's, I love you guys. God loves you even more. And you want to find out why. And I just want to make sure that I didn't forget anything. And the difficulties. I'm going to let this go. There are going to be difficulties, and we must keep in mind this is part of the process, and life going to be life, and life is going to have its difficulties whether you decide to make your mind up in this journey or not. It's going to be difficulties. That's a part of life. It's a part of life. But if we learn how to incorporate God in on our life, difficulties, we kind of experience them a little bit different. As I said, them people that went through the fire, they were sleeping with lions, that walked through water, walked on water. They done been in some places, and seen some things. I mean, God, people done experienced some wild things. And man, it makes it such a life that is in a book and we reading about it. I love you guys. God loves you even more. If this video helped you out, please like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.